Why do you play video games? Don't give me any of that for fun bullcrap. Nobody does that anymore. We all play video games to look cool to our friends, make money, or show off to the masses. And you know what's missing from Payday 3? All of it. I am so broke. Where did it all go wrong? Now I'm asking this because no one's playing Payday 3 right now. And in my opinion, I think I know exactly why that is. We don't need any of this. We don't need any of this Armor 2.0 crap. And we don't need a skill overhaul. No skill overhaul. I think those things would be nice, of course, because like both systems are in a really rough state right now. But neither of those things are going to retain players. It's not going to last for an extended period of time. I think the path where this game has a future only has one way to go. But before we can look forward, we need to look back. Progression in Payday 3 has been a little rocky to say the least. So at launch, Payday 3's progression system was challenge-based, resulting in it being incredibly slow for the most part. Completing challenges would award you experience based on the difficulty and tier of the challenge. Examples of challenges ranged anywhere from completing a heist X number of times in loud and stealth, headshots with a specific weapon, meters slid. You get the idea. Basically, leveling was entirely based on completing these challenges, so players who played the game in a really diverse way were rewarded with faster progression, whereas players who only played one playstyle, where my stealth gamers at, were severely handicapped. For example, I was well beyond level 100, the final level where you unlock skill points, before Stealth Master here was even able to hit like 80, because all he does is play stealth missions. He had more playtime than me, but less levels than me, and that's not his fault. It was an incredibly punishing system for some people, and it was riddled with flaws, on top of some of the challenges just not working or tracking properly. Anybody remember the Zapper challenge? That one just didn't work. I don't even think I got that one before the challenges went away. Great. This also meant that depending on your playstyle, you would go almost entire days without leveling up a single time as you got close to level 100. Now, to help measure things a little bit more in your head, I managed to speedrun getting to level 100 through the challenge system in about 32 hours of playtime. That means it took me 32 hours before I was able to use a full build in the game. In Payday 2, I could do that in 49 minutes with a talented squad. And I think that's a good thing in Payday 2, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. Now, all of this changed with the Payday 3 progression update, which, ironically, in my opinion, took away all sense of progression. You kind of see that theme a lot with this game. Challenges have now been completely removed. Now you get XP per bag and heist completion, and then you get a bonus for capturing all bags in a heist. Now there's only one problem. The number balancing is like way off. You can get to the max level of 150 incredibly quickly, after which you gain Renown levels. Renown levels are a separate level next to your normal level. It increases every time you gain 2,000 experience, which is the equivalent of going from level 149 to 150. Renown levels cap at 1,600, after which nothing happens. I'm not joking, there's just nothing after that. You hit 1,600 Renown levels and that stats screen at the end just doesn't matter to you. Money doesn't matter, C-stacks don't matter, so... Now, experience doesn't matter to you either. After these changes, I personally tested how long it took to get to level 100 with the new system, and it takes a pitiful 6 hours to reach max level in Payday 3. Now, my loyal viewer, I hear you saying, but I can actually use a good build sooner now, ugly. First of all, that's very rude, but it's true. You don't need to say all that. Second, that's great and all, but the weak skill system makes having a full build not even really that fun, honestly. I know that kind of makes the challenge-based progression... This is kind of going off script now. This part's going off script, I just realized this. So I know that kind of sounds counterproductive, where the slow 32-hour progression with the challenge-based system is more fun now. It wasn't, I can tell you that for sure. You'd think because it kept you in that sweet spot of having less skill points longer, it would have been more fun. I'm going to touch on the sweet spot of having less skill points in a sec, so that'll make more sense in a minute. But just trust me on this one when I say, having a full build in this game is boring, but challenge-based progression was even worse the way they implemented it. So the new system does have potential to be a step up, once we get to what I'm actually talking about in this video. So, anyway, where was I? What was I talking about? Having a full build in this game is very boring, and that's due to the weak skill system. It's just not very fun to build things. So logically, that means a new skill overhaul is the solution, right? Wrong. You're wrong. Don't say that. I'll tell you why in a sec. For now, let's talk about why leveling up so quickly is a problem in Payday 3. I mentioned a moment ago that I can get to max level in 1/6 the time in Payday 2. So why is that good, but this is bad? It's pretty simple, really. I can reset my level in Payday 2 once I hit max. In fact, I'm encouraged to reset it, functionally, an infinite number of times if you're the average player. It goes up to 500 times, but the average player is only going to go to 100 for the achievement, or they'll just download an Infamy mod to make it go over 500. There's some crazy people out there, dude. Let's talk about Infamy levels in a prestige system. Payday 2 uses a Call of Duty style prestige system. This means when you get to the max level of 100, you can choose to Infamy, which is what I'm going to call prestiging from now on, which resets your level back to 0, and you get a few small perks. These days, you get a cosmetic, an XP boost for your next journey to level 100, and a cute little card that your character holds that goes up by 1 number each time you Infamy. Now, not every Infamy level gives you a cosmetic, but you get all of those things up to level 25 every time you level up. Then you'll periodically get some goodies as you level up even further. On your way to level 100, which is when you get the final big reward. It's a cosmetic that looks alright, but it's a prestigious item because you have to get to Infamy level 100 to have it. Now, with all of this going on, I left out one pretty important point with resetting your level to 0. When you do that, you lose all your skill points and your guns are level locked again. That means you're remaking your builds with less points, you're slowly growing stronger over time again. It's like you're playing the game for the first time again. You just know what you're doing now. This is the gameplay loop that Payday 3 desperately needs. That's the only thing that I think will fix the game. That's because Payday 3 is too god-dang easy, and it's not getting any harder anytime soon according to the devs. Armor 2.0 is about to make the game even easier from the looks of it, so if the game's gonna be so brain-dead simple, there needs to be something else to keep people going. And I know a lot of people like that power fantasy was the big thing that came up during the ammo funnel debacle, but I think power fantasy only holds people on the game for so long, and elite gamers, such as myself, prefer a much more balanced game, or we need something to strive for logistically. Basically, if I'm playing a relatively easy game, I need some numbers going up somewhere else to keep me happy. Otherwise, I just get really bored. Money and C-stacks don't do it for me. After thinking about all this, that's when I realized an Infamy-style prestige system is the solution Payday 3 needs. It appeals to literally everyone. I can't think of anybody it doesn't appeal to. Because if you do like playing at the max level, you can just ignore it. Or they can add Infamy pools like in Payday 2, where you still gain experience, but it's more expensive to prestige. However, you stay at max level and keep all your builds. So yeah, fantastic, there's a solution for people that want to stay at max level. Or just ignore the system. If you like the game right now, keep playing it. Don't learn anything new, keep playing the slop. I mean the game, play the game. The daily challenges not keeping you in the game, but they're so fun. And they give you C-stacks. Have I mentioned they should boost the cost of C-stack preset weapons to like 1,000 each? I think it'd be really funny. Where was I? I got lost again. With this system, you can at least Infamy, reset your level, and play the game with at least a little bit of difficulty for a short amount of time. Just as a little test, I've played the game with a limited number of skill points. And it's actually a lot more fun in my opinion. I think the bones of Payday 3 are pretty decent as far as a difficult co-op shooter goes. But once you add too many skill points into the mix, it gets boring again. Also, ammo funnel sucks. This at least helps alleviate some of that for some of the gameplay. Gamers like me will get a dopamine hit every 6 hours as we reset and struggle through the first hour. Hang on, why did I write this script like this? Gamers like me will get a dopamine hit every 6 hours as we reset and struggle through an hour or two of gameplay, hit the difficulty sweet spot for another hour, then play normal for the next 4. I'm sure there's probably some flaws somewhere in that system, but man, this is like a dream to me after struggling to play the game for a while now. Not struggling because it's difficult, struggling mentally. I feel like I'm going insane trying to play this game. I gotta go put my son down, I'll be right back. Woo! The benefits don't really stop there though. The Infamy system can come packed with cosmetics and prestigious items, which are great to show off to people in public games or, friend lobbies. It's like that crappy little meth charm they gave you for doing 19 bags of cook-off, except people can actually see it. That means this system appeals to fashion enjoyers and collectors. Again, who would dislike this addition? Now, besides that, people will be angry regardless. There are always people that are angry regardless. One more thing I want to just touch on real quick, just shortly here. I don't think changing the core gameplay loop with armor and skills is gonna really help anything. I think an Infamy system will actually keep people playing the game, which is kind of where it's struggling. A complete lack of progression in a game hurts a lot worse when the game is so poorly balanced like it is. I think with Infamy, at least people will be randomly weaker in lobbies, so that might actually help things too. It'll result in some almost like organic balancing is what I want to call it. This means adding Infamy will functionally help the balancing team as well. Why did I say team? So we've just been talking recently. We think the only person working on the game still is Mio. They've locked him in a closet. He has one home-cooked meal to just sustain him while he works on the game. They turn the AC off and they forgot to give him water. So if he gets Armor 2.0 out fast enough, then he gets to eat. I got lost again. Where am I? Overall, I think this is a good move for Starbreeze as well then. Less demand to balance the game. Just about everybody enjoys the system for what it is, and it's almost impossible to break this update like they do with everything else. You guys are just tweaking some numbers here. You got this. I believe in you. That's all I've got for you guys today. Payday 3 needs an Infamy system really bad. I think Armor 2.0, new skills, none of that's going to save the game. I don't even think offline mode is going to save the game, and that's something people have been pushing for a lot recently. We need an update that keeps players invested in actually playing the game. Then we can make it more fun, I guess. I don't know. It's a really weird way to say that, but really. All of these previously mentioned systems aren't going to balance the game for people like me. Power fantasy gamers aren't going to stick around when the game is so easy and doesn't have something, to grind for. And there's just no progression in the game right now. They completely removed it with the progression update. They wiped it out just completely when they removed challenges in favor of heist XP. At least this way, the work of overhauling the progression system to what it is now doesn't go to waste, and then we get something to get us to keep coming back to the game. I don't know. That's really it, though. If you want to hear more about progression in Payday 3, Safi just released a video on it not too long ago. It kind of looks like I copied him. I did. Go watch his video. I'm actually trying to beat him to 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, so please leave a subscription if you enjoyed the video. I've got at least a few other things you might want to check out. If you like this one, you'll definitely like this video here. Talks about the Killing Floor 3 beta. It sucked. I only talk about games that suck. If you want to see me live, you can also check me out on Twitch. We're usually playing Payday or some other co-op game, so you can join in. We do open lobbies. Now I just hope this video isn't a waste of time and Payday 3 is actually around long enough to have something like this happen. Surely Payday 3 will be around long enough for something like this to happen. Surely.